here and there to create a concrete trade. Okay, so I did share some trades with you the past few weeks, because the last trade that we took was a sell on gold. As you can see, we had this drop, or a trap above rather, the 200 EMA, which is actually at the supply zone, right? So we took that, be able to project our next move. But the most important thing, right, I'm saying this because if we look at it from the EMAs, from the daily time frame, this is what we can see. Right, we had a trap below the 13 EMA and a move going to the upside. So very easy. So as you can see from that, what we had the first move. So we have the peak formation down here. We have the first pull up at level 1. We have the second level of rise into a consolidation, as you can see. And then we had the last level of rise, giving us 3 pushes. Right, remember, this is your daily time frame, giving us 3 pushes. So as you can see from this area, price then decided to give us a high and reverse. So 1, 2, 3, right, into that area. So for Confluent, I like looking at using the fib, to get market reversal points. So I only focus on 2 levels, which is 50 and 61.80. I just, mark the low of the cycle and the high of the cycle, and then, look for trades around these areas. So as you can see, what happened here, very simple. You had this supply area, which was now being retested as demand right here. But at the same time, we have the 50, 61.80, a trap below, right? A trap below that. Trap below. Let me just remove the fib, to try keep it clean as possible. All right. So if we go to the daily, this is what you have. Right. For trend line traders, I guess you guys would be drawing a trend line. I don't know if you're going to take this as a trade. I don't know how you draw the trend lines, but probably you would be waiting for something to happen here. But anyways, as you can see, we've got 3 levels, and then we have a peak formation high, which shows the hand of the dealer, because the second leg of the M formation is higher than the first. This is a clear stop hunt, right? So from there, what do we have? We have obviously the stop hunt, and we have 1 day of drop. Right, 1 day of drop. You can also still use the fib there, a high and low of the cycle. Look for a trade around the 50, 61.80. Sometimes you do have trades like this, right, where it's just manipulation. But if you know what to look for, you would understand, where exactly to look for a trade. This looks like a very high liquidity zone because of the reactions there, right? That could also be a factor of Confluent for you, right? For trendline traders, I don't know what you guys did here, but yeah, somehow you guys make it work, right? But yeah, that's just too much, guys. But yeah, so as you can see, 1 level of drop, and then we have the second level of drop, giving us a peak formation. This peak formation type is a head and shoulders type of peak formation, as you can see. All right, head and shoulders type of formation, as you can see. So that then comes through as a peak reset for us. If we look at it from the H4, from the BTMM view, as you can see, this is actually a stop hunt below the 200 EMA, which came through as a peak reset in the H4, right? And then we had another level of rise to the upside, right? And then this is where we actually entered the market, right? So if we look at this from the H4, this means this is 1 level of rise, because this is 1 week of rise, right? 1 week of rise going to the upside, breaking structure, giving us, new highs, new highs on that. So as you can see, price then gave us a pullback, not a deep pullback, but this one just came and gave us a trap below the 13 EMA. Now, the 13 EMA, which is the red EMA, right here, this red EMA, if you look at it from the H1, this is what we can see now, right? It's actually a peak formation at the 800 EMA in the H1 time frame, right? These are very powerful, very, very, very powerful, right? If you identify such. So we've got 1 day of rise, and we have another push, level 2, sorry, and then we had the last level of push, right, being our 3rd level right, being our third level. And then for this week, this then became the high of the week, right? So as you can see, the next week on the Monday, price didn't really go above that high of the week, right? Price respected that area, gave us a pullback, not a deep pullback, right? But the confluence that we spoke about and discussed was we had a demand area here and that 50 EMA. So looking at this whole structure, remember when we have the 13 and 50 crossover, which is this confirms the lock of this peak, right? So this pullback here was the first pullback, right? When price had given us a nice cycle run, was the first pullback to the 50 EMA, which is a trade that we look for rather, right? A bounce off the 50 EMA, the first pullback to the 50 EMA, right? A very high probability trade, right? But we are also looking at the fact that there is demand there. Okay, so that's what we have for trendline traders. Yeah, I don't know what you guys did here. You probably traded the break. Maybe if you had your stop above, you were taking out here, and maybe you traded some retest. Maybe if you sold here thinking this is gonna drop and come down here, you had a surprise. But for BTMM traders, we knew this was a peak reset. We knew this was a peak formation reset. That's the good thing about it. So push up. So if we look at the recent structure now, and the reason why we are in this trade is because of this. Right, if you go to the M15 time frame, this is what we have. Very, very, very simple structures. As we had this area, remember when price was pushing up, we had this here, this demand. This demand was an important one because within this cycle run, it gave us a new high. Right, this is the high of the week I was talking about, where price respected it into the new week. So this then was the move on a Monday. Right, price then went down to this demand area. As you can see, we did have, obviously relatively equal lows here. So this push also here came through, hitting the stops, collecting those orders on that demand area, and continuing with the move up. And that is the reason why I entered this. So if you look at it from the M15 time frame, this is what we can see. I don't know, for trendline traders, probably you would do something like this, and hopefully you traded the retest of that, right? But it's easier for you to do that when you got some confirmation from the EMAs as well. So price then came through, and that is when my entry was. That is where my entry was. There, that demand area, price pushes up, doesn't really get back into the demand, and then finally taps into that demand. At this being, right, if we look at it from the BTMM view, we probably had some EMA confluence somewhere there. All right, so the entry was here. This was just a nice peak below the 50 EMA, which is this light blue EMA. Nice flow of price just below that, and then a continuation to the upside. Right, but to keep it clean, the same still applies. All right, so that is where we took the entries, and price continued moving up. We actually did take some partials as well, just to secure that money. But this is what we have, right? So it's over 1,000 pips. So from here, we have the peak, of course. Nothing really crazy into a consolidation peak. Right? And then we had another flow of price into a consolidation. And then we had another flow of price. And we can already identify, how price is now failing to give us higher highs. As you can see, we have a missing higher high. What we can identify is a push down here, right? And then a buy to sell scenario where they buy to sell, right? Where did this happen? At a supply area, right there. So what is basically happening now is price is now failing to give us higher highs. So, these are the type of trades where you can just, get some sells, as you wait for the right move. But the order block, which is important for me right now, is this one. I would want to see, if price gets below this, because if it stays above, then we might just, get another push. We might just get another push, because at this point, we've got 1 week of rise, another week of rise. Are we going to get another push this week, or some consolidation, stop hunt, and then a last push, maybe? Right? But remember, we just, we want to react to the market, not just predict and project. Right? So this is what we have in this trade. So looking at it from the BTMM view, very simple. Right? Very simple. This is what we have. Right? Very clean, simple trade. Right? If you can catch these, now you can make a living off trading. Right? If you just catch these with precision, strict rules, and a tight checklist. So we actually do have a service where we are only trading gold, US30 and NAS100, and that VIP chat is strictly for gold, US30 and NAS100. And what we do in the Signal group is we trade live together. We explain these setups. We have a DMR service where we explain setups every day in the market. This helps a trader to actually become better, right? This helps a trader become better, to have, a strong trading system that you can put trust in. So we do have that DMR service. But for this one, we do have a lifetime offer, where we are only going to be trading gold, US30 and NAS100. Remember, these signals come with explanations. For those who can join us, you can, watch us do this live. But depending on, how busy you are, you might just take the signals, right? So, yeah. For more information on that, do join our Telegram channel. Find the link in the description below. And, yeah, you can send me a message to find out more. And also, in the free Telegram channel, I do share setups, signals, and more educational content. So, you can definitely be part of that if you love what we are doing here on MMK Forex Group YouTube channel. Right. So, I hope you guys learned something from this video. Don't forget to leave a like, leave a comment, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed, guys. I had to spend over probably close to an hour now that I have to, just give this a quick edit for you guys. But yeah, you probably have it. What's the time right now? On my side, it's 3:16 p.m. right now. So yeah, I'll keep an eye on the market. Might just, get some setups today on the New York Open. We'll just see how these things act. Just keep an eye on this. If the market actually market might just continue going up from here. This might just be that peak that we are looking for before we continue going up. But you have to treat this with caution and just learn to react more. Don't become a master in predicting and a failure in executing. All right, guys. So that's what we have. Very good week that we had. Amazing pips on gold, right? Amazing pips on that. And yeah, I will be also reviewing some other prop firms for you guys. Might just be, trying out FTMO, funding pips, and other prop firms, just to show you that you can actually use this knowledge to make, very good money in the market. It's all about trading like a professional, guys. I think that's the most important thing. You have to treat trading like a business, respect your money, and respect your skill. All right, you cannot just get to the market and start gambling. All right, you need to be aware of the decisions that you're making, and you need to be able to correct any mistakes, because there are going to be mistakes in trading. You need to create such a system for yourself. That way, it is easier to grow and also improve. All right, guys, hope you learned something. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button.